guys, what's up, welcome to my channel. So today's video is about my first time doing a lace closure wig on myself, installing it on myself. I've seen it done and I watched so many videos, but I never did it on myself, and this was the first time I've done it to myself. And I decided to do it the same day that I had to go to work, and that was like 2 years ago. I had to go to work on Black Friday. So I don't know what I was thinking, but you know, it took me a while to get it together because I kept messing up, but the final result was pretty good for me. You know, I did very well for it being my first time. So let's see the process. I hope you guys enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. So now you see, this is my hair, my natural hair after it's been braided and blow dried. I washed it the night before, so the type of hair I have to like braid it, blow dry it the night before to be able to deal with it, because I have very sensitive scalp, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So right now I'm just putting some Moroccan oil on my hair, you know, just to give some oils, add some oils to the hair. Right now I'm about to put some braids into my hair. One thing I realized, at that time I didn't, but now that I have advanced in doing the installs, that doesn't matter what pattern braids you have, honestly, because at the end of the day your head's going to be covered. As long as your hair's braided and braided flat, you're like fine, honestly. Because me, I was like, okay, you know, since I was going to do a part down the middle closure, so I said, let me braid my hair, you know, let me put a part down the middle and then braid my hair down. But honestly, I really didn't have to do it. But, you know, at that time, I did not know, because it was my first time. And, you know, everybody was like, you know, well, I was watching other videos and I was trying to follow the other girls. But I got it together eventually. I'm going to put like, I think 7-8 braids in my hair. And then moisturize my scalp. Always, guys, remember to moisturize your scalp when you put those wigs on, because sometimes, you know, you leave it in for a while, and for someone like me that has very dry scalp, I have to, you know, moisturize my scalp. Okay, now the braids have been completed. Now it's time to moisturize my scalp. The hair fertilizer, oh my god, when I tell you that thing, it helps me a lot, because I have an itchy scalp, and it moisturized my scalp very well. I love that thing. So now I'm about to put the Got2b on the front of my head to slick down my edges, because you know, when you're melting the cap, you need your, you know, hair to be really flat. So, and me, the type of hair I have is curly all over, so I use the edge brush to flatten it down. I don't really have to do the whole front, but I just went ahead and just did majority of the front to flatten majority of it, because some of it will be out, since this is just a closure wig. It's not a full lace wig, so I did mostly for the most part, but I mostly put it around for where the cap is gonna be on, because I do not install the whole cap when I do a closure. I only put it for the amount of lace that I'm gonna have out. I use the blow dryer on cold air. A lot of this stuff you guys know, because it's mostly the same thing that the other girls do. So, you know, use it on cold air, make sure it's flat and dry, and that's what I'm doing. Now I'm getting rid of my widow's peak. Yes, I had to get rid of it because I kept messing up at the beginning, so I had to just go ahead and cut it off because it was getting on my nerve. I installed the cap, and I'm only going to put it on a certain distance. I forgot to measure it when I first did this. I did not measure it correctly, so I did a little too much because my closure was not that big. It was a 4x4. It wasn't like a 5x5 or a 5x6. It was just a 4x4. So I kind of did a little too much. So when it was time to take it apart, ooh, that thing hurt so much. After you do the Gots to Be gel, now you just do the spray, to secure it a little more. Put some cold air. And now I'm about to sew around the cap because I do not want to keep the whole cap on. I'm gonna cut most of it off because, well, at that time I didn't know that I could have kept the whole thing on. I really didn't know. So I felt like it was gonna be better for me to just, cut it. So that'll just be that portion in that section because I've seen it done. But then I realized I really didn't have to do it. A lot of this could have cut me time, but like I stated, it was my first time. So I was just doing what I've seen done. And I was trying to remember it off the top of my head as I was doing it. Because I was using my phone to record, so I couldn't really go back and play the videos while I was doing it. So I was trying to remember everything. And I even watched a couple of videos before I even did it, because this is actually my first video for YouTube that I did, even though I didn't post it first, but this was my first video that I did for the YouTube channel, for my YouTube channel. Now I'm cutting it. As when I tell you it was hurting when I was cutting it, because I have small little baby hairs in the front, and it was a struggle. When I tell you it was a struggle, I remember this. Certain other installs I may not remember, but this one I do remember, because this was my very first one, and this I remember. Like, I was pulling out hair in the front. I was yanking out hair in the front. I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna be bald headed after this. And you're gonna see what I mean when I said I cut a little bit too much. Not too much, but I left out a little bit too much, because my closure wasn't really that wide. And trying to cut this thing was hard too, because I'm a lefty, so it was just difficult. Okay, I've cut it, and I had to measure it a couple of times, which I did not video that part, but I had to cut it even more because it was a little too long. I had to cut more of it. When I tell you that part hurt, because I had to lift the cap off my hair, and when I tell you that process was just it was a lot going on that day. So right now I'm trying to, match the cap to my skin. I used the Maybelline powder at the time, which there are other ones that are better than that one, but that's all I had at the moment, and that was the closest one I had to match me, and I didn't have no time to go get a foundation that matched because I had to be at work. And I already, did this process twice, I think, that day, and I had to go to work, and this was my third time doing it. I was like, no. I was like, however it comes out, because I got to go. But looking in the mirror, it matches pretty well for me. It matches really well. I also use it on the lace itself of the wig. I also apply some of that foundation makeup. I used the 90% alcohol, which was the worst thing that I could have done on my sensitive skin. I should have gotten like the 70 or the 60% because that 90 is strong, and my skin was so irritated after I took this wig off. So irritated. I should have never did that, but you know, you live and you learn. Right now I'm measuring the wig, so it could be tight enough. I did not put a band on it at the moment, so I just used the one that they already have on there, and I just put it like, you know, where it fits tight enough for me to put the wig on. Now I am sewing the wig around the parameters only. This process, I'm not really sure which is the best way to do it, honestly, because I've done it both ways and I can't really say which one is the best. I think the best way is for your comfort. However you're comfortable doing it, however is the fastest way for you to do it, or what is the way that you can do it where you can get the look that you're looking for. Because I've done it both ways. This time, this way, this is the only way I remembered at the time when I was doing this. That was the only way that I remembered, was to sew it first and then install it. My mistake with that was I sewed it just a little bit too, how can I explain this? Like, I think I should have, for me, I did it too far back. So when it was time to put the closure, I had to pull it, and it didn't last that long on my head because, you know, since I had to pull it, eventually it pulled back itself. Within like 2-3 days, the tension loosened up and then it went all the way back. So that was my mistake at the time. So I learned from that. So like I said, it all depends on you, on your comfort level, and you know what's best for you. I do it both ways depending on my client's hair and her hairline. So I'm comfortable with doing both, but not everyone is comfortable with doing both. Okay, now we're done. Now it's time to install the closure. I don't know if you guys can tell. You see how far back the wig is? Man, when I tell you, I said, man, forget this. I was like, I got to go. And you can tell I was rushing. Even when I was applying the glue, I didn't apply it correctly. But, you know, that's just, you know, you got to make mistakes to learn from them, and that's exactly what happened that day for me. I learned a lot from this. The glue that I use is the bolt hold, and as you know, you're not supposed to put that much on, but you know, I didn't know any better at that time, so I did put 3 layers, and I did allow it to get clear, which that's what they advise you to do, but they don't advise you to put so much. You know, you just need a very thin layer, but you know, I didn't know any better. I used the back of the tweezers to spread the glue, and you see some of it was still white, but you know. and I did use my palms. The only thing I can tell you is if you have sweaty palms like me, it's not best for you to use your palms because of the sweat. I have sweaty hands, so I'll use my palm, which I shouldn't use. Then I realized that I shouldn't use my palm. Then I started using a comb, but too late. It is what it is. I just had to make sure I get that wig on. I look decent, go to work, go to Thanksgiving dinner, and then, I'll deal with it after the fact. And that's exactly what I did. Now that I have completed my makeup, now it's time to get the rest of this hair together. I used a satin scarf, which it's not bad. It's not really bad. You know, some of the glue was still, it wasn't fully dry, and you can see right there. Remember, I stated that I put the wig, I sewed it in too far back, and you can see because the glue is still out. So I used some of the alcohol to get rid of the glue, which started to lift some of the lace. That day was whew. That day was serious. Yeah, because I wasn't able to pull it further up, so I was kind of stuck with where it stayed at, and I had some leftover residue, which, you know, easily got rid of. Put some foundation covering most of it, it'll be fine. I tried to do the part down the middle, but I wasn't really feeling it, honestly. I was not feeling it at all. And you will see, because I don't know what I was thinking. I was not feeling it at all. And I spent time doing this to end up changing it, you see? Yep, you see? And then I found a bald spot on the lace. Crazy. It is crazy. So I had to improvise. So I said, okay, since I can't do part down the middle, guess what? Put everything to the side. And that's exactly what I did. I did bleach the knots myself, and some of it did get to the hair. So that's why you see some of the, when you look at the scalp, is really, really, like, you can tell that some of the hair got bleached also, which was my first time. So, but overall, I think it did come out pretty well. It wasn't all over the closure, but it was just certain parts of the closure was light. It was really light. And that same day I burnt my forehead. With that wand curler. That same exact day I burnt my forehead. Wow. You know, I choose the wrong time to want to do this for the first time on myself. I choose the wrong time. But overall, the look did come out. It came out decent. It came out good enough for me to go to work for Thanksgiving dinner and for me to go out. So I was fine with that. So I'll let you guys finish watching as I try to style this hair as fast as possible, because time was winding down. time to go to work. Thank you for getting ready with me. I ain't do much. Just, you know, shaded in my eyebrows, put a little foundation, and some lipstick. Oh, and some eyes. Like, so it would do for now. I got to go. I'm gonna be late. I didn't even get nothing to eat yet. But anyways, thank you for watching and see you again. Bye.